Letting evil slide. Edmund Burke is credited with saying the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is that good men do nothing. I'm going to have a few probably Godfather references in this bit right here, without a doubt. First and foremost, I don't know about you, my intelligence was insulted yesterday. Donald Trump insulted my intelligence. He obviously ticked off basically most of MAGA. I mean, as I said, yes, General Flynn, many others, just their jaw dropped yesterday. There is a press conference at a cabinet meeting. A reporter asks about the Epstein files, and he goes off on the reporter about asking about Jeffrey Epstein. Goes off on him. This is Trump. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? We have Texas, this, all the things. Are people still talking about this creep? That is unbelievable. I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein. And then he lets Pam Bondi step in and answer. Part of the question is, why is there a minute missing off the tape? And you said you had this stuff on her desk. Well, first and foremost, she didn't tell the truth yesterday. You can ask anybody that's involved in cameras and security. The excuse that she gave is just not true. That was just made up. And not to mention the fact it wasn't even the right camera angle. If you go back and you look at it again, you have a major human trafficking, pedo ring, thousands of kids. Nobody gets arrested. It's case closed. That's what you're telling us. It was funny. Elon Musk put out a tweet. He said more squirrels and raccoons have been arrested than anyone on Epstein's client list. Remember Peanut the squirrel? When the government people came in to take the person's squirrel and raccoon pets that they were doing? Well, that's where we're at right now. Over the past several years, it's been coming to people's attention just that this is a reality. It's not just movies. There was a great movie with Joaquin Phoenix, You Were Never Really Here, talking about, showing human trafficking, obviously Sound of Freedom. You can go back to Stanley Kubrick, his last film. He's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, Eyes Wide Shut. And they actually recut his movie after the fact. He didn't want them to do that. And interestingly enough, he died a couple weeks after this was done. Again, it's kind of odd. And you actually take a look at the end of the movie with, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman's daughter being led away by pedos. I spent a long time yesterday. I didn't get to bed yesterday. I listened to a tremendous, and I'm recommending it to everybody, if you can handle it. If you can handle it. I have to admit, I felt like drinking a half a bottle of scotch while I was listening to this thing. It is that disturbing. Podcast, Darryl Cooper does it. It's called MartyrMade. And I love his work as far as looking into history from different angles. And I know he gets criticized for some of the takes because sometimes we get, oftentimes we create little myths when it comes to our history and people don't like to really look at what actually happened. It's a 3-part podcast that he put together. It's over 5 hours long. And stories that I never knew. Pedo rings in Belgium tied to the highest levels, stuff with the CIA, British intelligence. You're going back to the Troubles with the IRA and the Brits and all of this stuff that gets brushed underneath the rug. And he breaks down the various different, points and how could this be a coincidence? What are the odds of this? And the stuff with Epstein is going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. Epstein was a college dropout, yet he ended up becoming a math teacher at 20 years old at one of the most fuddy-duddy prep schools in Manhattan. And the web and the people who were the headmasters there, and they're writing pedophile books and bringing in John Podesta. I mean, it will really kind of blow your mind, and it will disgust you as well. And he even actually warns during the podcast some of the source material that he cites and the investigations that were done here and there. He says you really don't want to actually even read this or look at it because you're never going to come back from it. It's that brutal. It's that bad. This is some serious, and I've known this for some time, Old Testament type stuff. That's going on. And, I'm not talking about the Ark experience for the kids. Okay. The dark side. Again, that's why I can never do movies about the Old Testament. It's too violent. It's too brutal. And what took place. And it's interesting that it's happening here again today. And to watch Trump and his people. I mean, where's J.D. Vance? I mean, go take a look at all the tweets that he put out about this during the campaign. Crickets. Well, I don't even know where he is. They kind of like tucked him away at this point in time. There is real evil in the world. I don't know what the connections are. We do know that supposedly yes, Epstein was involved with intelligence. I guess the intelligence that he was able to provide, the things that he was able to do is more important than the systematic abuse of children, which I'll never get my arms around, and you won't either. And this is why they can get away with this, because you and the people who listen to this program and the people that you know that they're not capable of this. They're not capable of thinking like this. It's not plausible. It's not in the realm of possibilities with anybody that you know or that you are friends with. There's a whole, like I said, it's like that whole George Carlin club. There's a big club, you and I in it. You don't want to be in that club. There's a whole nother level of evil that exists there. And again, for justice, we need to go to Don Corleone. We don't have those Don Corleones anymore. Remember having this conversation with friends of mine and sitting around my solo stove. This is back when I was living in Long Island, sitting around a fire, having a few cocktails under the stars. Again, one of those nights, just like it's great to be alive. Your friends and brought up, something like this, talking about this. It does this to your family, your kids. I'd handle it. And again, it flies in the face of what I'm supposed to do as a Catholic, and you're supposed to forgive. Certain things I couldn't. Done to me, yes. Done to my children or people that I care about, I love, no. Again, people, as I said, we also got to retract to some degree. We don't have a justice system here in this country. There's no justice here in this country. You know who was on the plane. So plane was called the Lolita Express. Okay. Everyone called it that. Everybody knew what was going on. Bill Clinton was on that plane 26 times. Nothing. All we have is victims. All we have is victims, and these victims knew. Okay, they put it in their diaries that they were being recorded for blackmail. Nothing. Again, I'm going to mention again, it's a phenomenal podcast. It's over, you got to do it in pieces. It's over 5 hours long, 3 parts. And again, it's basically explaining, it's like the origin story of pedophilia and the evil that's out there, how it exists around on the globe, how Epstein operates, how it's not really happening everywhere. And again, like I said, be prepared. Be prepared if you listen to it. Okay, it's not easily listening by any stretch of the imagination. Again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all of those victims. I'm sorry that there really isn't justice system here in the United States. There is. There's one for the rich and powerful, and then there's the system for everyone else. Watchdog on WallStreet.com.